Hi, guys. Welcome to the very first episode of the Cheese Boss podcast. I'm your host, Victoria. And honestly, this moment feels so surreal. We've been talking about this for a while now, planning it, dreaming it, and finally, it is here. If this is your first time hearing about this cheese ball, then you are in for something real. This podcast is your go to space for unfiltered conversation where we actually talk about things happening around us from trending gist, school life, and campus chaos politics, government issues, and whatever things is blowing up online. Nothing is off limits here. Now, I have to say this upfront. This isn't just me talking into a mic. There is an amazing team making this possible. Here is Kelvin, the girl who believes he's obsessed with understanding how the world works. And right here is Shegu, the guy who is always ready to argue, even when nobody asks for it. Though we love him for what he does. And right here is my beautiful lady Angel, the girl with the calm demeanor and with the sharp intellect. So yeah, this is the start of something new. We are here to bring gist with depth conversations that spark thought and maybe a little chaos too, which leads us to today's topic. Today's topic is not just another headline. This is the story of life lost, land burnt, and questions that demand answer. We are here to dive deep into an escalating conflict between the farmers and herders in Benue State. Stay tuned as we continue in today's episode. So, Kelvin, what do you think is the root cause of the killing happening in Benue State? Is it religion, climate change, or ethnicity? I want to hear your point.
Yeah, actually, based on what I assessed, the crisis, no, it's been something that's been happening for long. And also, from my own opinion, I guess we can say climate change is one of the reasons of the conflict. But I think is my first point is due to the population of the Benue people. The elders come and they pass through Benue, so they feed their cattle and their cows and all. But as Benue people began to grow in the population, they also start to have a lot of farmlands. And which are those farmland that the Fulani herdsmen were using to feed their own cows. So that's, I think, yeah, it's added to the conflict.
So, from your own point here, are you telling me that it's only climate change that affects the root cause of the killing of
No,
individuals?
not only climate change. There are other factors to be considered because we know that the Fulani are majority Muslims, while the Christians are the Benue farmers. But so we can say religion too as a factor today in the conflict.
What's your paper on the what he said, ma?
I think he's multi-layered because there's religion, there's ethnicity, there is bad governance, and there is um. But for me, I'd say it is all because religion is part of it. There's a religion tension between the Muslim and Christianity, and climate change because a lot of things are be happening, and um lands and farmers are going north. Sorry, are going south. Others are going south because of climate change. Ethnicity is also part of it, and bad governance is also part of it. Because for me, I feel like the governments are in charge of it. It's not only religion; it is political motivated. That's why.
Okay, Shegzi, what do you think is the root cause for the
Okay,
killing?
one of the things that we emphasize on is the land disputes, which we have been mentioning from our point of view. You can see that these land people, government did not manage it well in this place of the area. And of course, a lot of killing right from the beginning in that state. And yeah, continue like that from 2016, 2017. All these things have been in existence that government have not even attend to it. And we know that federal governments are one of the people that what govern the security of the whole Nigeria. We are all Nigerians, no matter states, no matter our ethics or anything, any group we belong to. But this land dispute is a part that the farmer want to farm while the herdsmen also want to feed their cattle. And this is something that cannot go either way. We have to either collect my land or I collect it. But the land belongs to the Benin people. Yeah, it belongs. And these people have been there for a lot of time. They have been existing there, Fulani. Yes. Yeah,
For real.
now. But they met the You know let me say the climate change there was another thing. If you look at their farming and the land there through the picture you see that the place is
No,
somehow.
it is one and things. It's not the fault of the Benue people that they have climate issues.
Yeah. It's not their fault. But let me say, if government are managed this well, is it something that this go beyond us just like at Yoruba land now. Look at Igbo land, look at other land. In Yoruba land, you know that their cat is also here in the south east and everywhere. But one thing that you see is that they are allocated place for the herdsmen to do their, though they take it around, but they still have some allocated place for them. Why the farmers still exist? Because if this does not happen, we can you have hear about the killings in Yoruba land also in the southeast. And this have stopped. Why? Because we have a allocated land for them to go and graze for their cattle. Why people there also farm and they see the output of the yielding. And if this thing cannot happen in Benue State, this will become a problem that next generation will still meet.
But that
And government are,
was true. That's been
yeah, it has been in history, but it have not been managed. When something like this happen, it have to be managed. And if the government are the only one to meet up with the people, the local government is there, the security state is there. You know that that place also extend to the border of Nigeria. There is a border there, and that is a lot of margin border in that place, a lot of kilometer. And this is one of the things that affect them. That's why when they are curious, they can't identify. It's a problem.
But the thing is, Benue state government, they actually made an anti-grazing law against Fulani moving their cattle
That
to
will
the
not work.
south.
That will not work. This dog they made it. Yeah. This dog not get you and declare us and they start the fight again. And wish you will continue more. Hundreds of people are dying. You are telling me that okay, I'll be grazing I'll be feeding my cattle here. Then you are telling me to leave or notice that all this land belong to the farmers? No. We have to allocate this. If the government cannot settle both sides, you are a governor to both the silly and the unsilly one. These people don't want to know about anything. They are ready to kill. We all know them.
They should, out of fear now, Benue government should allocate lands to the Fulani.
The state is to allocate land. They are the one that have the right to allocate land.
But
Not
no,
to settle.
yes, these lands that have been allocated are farmable lands. We cannot allocate a land that you can use to no to plant.
I understand your point of view, but this will continue, and if they cannot manage this thing, there is something in this thing that we have to look into. It's not just about the place belong to this. We are looking for peace. The Fulanis, if I ask you, the Fulani are they Nigerian?
They are Nigerians now.
Yeah. So if we are in one, we call ourselves one. That's why both three sides come together to become Nigeria, and we have to coexist to have peaceful reign. That's why in Yoruba land you will see Igbo, in Igbo land you will see Yoruba, you will see Hausa, you will see different group of people and food. In Yoruba land there is Sabo, right? Mola, the Hausas are the one there living there. We already know that okay, this place, even sometimes we call it that the place is dirty, right? In our own point of view. But we are already allocated the place for them for buying and selling, and we already know that okay, this is that we can coexist with this.
See, the thing is, Benue, they are allocated towns
Yeah.
for the Fulani, but the government did not allocate lands for them to feed their cows.
And that is common.
See, the thing is, the way they move their cows about is violation to different farmers' privacy. Their rights to farm now, and those people move around with weapons. You say that, and they will tell you they're trying to protect their cow from thieves. From who? And they're using those weapons to be killing farmers.
Or that we can hold federal government responsible for that.
How?
it's
Federal
because
government,
it's not the federal government that is responsible for that.
anything security
It's the
from
state
the
government.
VSS, from everything, from the police, the state police, everything are directed to to the federal government to secure the citizen. We are all citizens in Nigeria, and the security of this country, the security of individual, to the individual. Then who do we give our mandate to protect us? We all cannot carry gun. I can put my carry gun.
Yeah, it starts from the state government to the federal government.
Exactly. Because the state government made a law, but they did not enforce it. The federal government, in the federal authority, police are going around me nowhere for hunting. Why does police have weapons? Because in every budget, there are a particular amount allocated to every sectors. So now, son, go ideally we Benue government made the law, but they did not enforce the law. So the law actually sounds like a joke to the other Fulanis. Those herdsmen think of the law that's why are they being numb? And you know the funny thing, in those places that the attack were made, there were security personnel. The military were there, but they did not involve. But at least you know that the police people they tried to intercept at some point. But the military were there. But what I'm saying is, are they being the Benue state government? They enforce the law. When I mean enforce, there are people that are actually executing those laws that are being in charge that, okay, these people, anywhere you see this kind of thing, no, make sure you scrub it off. But they don't.
I'll point your attention to something. When it comes to this place of allocating people for enforcing the law, we already know that there are a lot of military forces in Nigeria. More than when we are looking into it, I see that we have more than 20 above. And yes, we have more than 20 above looking into it. If we look into it very well, we see that everything is also directed to the federal government to have the final say on it. And if you look at the statement of Minister of Defense when it comes to this matter, when he was giving his speech, he was telling us that we supposed to have a way that we can identify our citizens so that in case of any other thing, he was just improvising on what he thought we can use, which we have not been implementing. And there is another person, security personnel, that is telling us that we can have surveillance camera to all this thing. But the root of the matter is that one of the things that we have to first look into is that not just that state government giving a law for them to enforce. If you look at it, there is riot everywhere. SARS, everything happen. Even when the president says so things, they will still go against it. And we will call it riot and protest. But one of the things that we have to look into, the interest of the people we are leading, both sides, both the good and the bad side. If this thing will go on, then if we have our military forces everywhere that are operating on their both on the local route to the outermost route, and they operate very well, there will be security and there will be fear in the heart of those Fulanis men. And if we have allocated a place for them, they must not go. There is a proper planning for feeding animal. You did animals not in your secondary school, right? This is one of the things that we learn, that in our park show, we can have a place that they base this month, then we move them to another sector, and they will be able to manage the little we have. That's what we are talking about parks. You know what? But this thing, we continue cannot do that. They will continue to just my cattle cannot just die if I'm the one that have it. I will not just look at it and die. And if I'm the farmer, I will not just look at people ruining my own crop that I'm.
The fact is, the way Fulani treats their cow is wrong. Because no, they feed them, moving them all around. But check other countries, they don't move cows all around. That's my point. That they allocate land, but these people they are own. No, every culture has their own way of doing things. The culture, the way of Fulani is doing the wearing their own animals is like moving them all around, grazing. So if federal government allocate the land for them, no, or state government, you think okay now you are saying okay the state government should allocate the land for them, that they should be using this place to feed. Do you know that allocating is not the issue, but the issue is will they stay there? Because now security personnel surveillance should be everywhere there because the place is surveillance. So they should be under every surveillance because they are rearing cows. It can't work. That's waste of money. It's not a waste of money. The reason why that place is not a waste of money is because there is a border there. We people that can come in and cause conflicts. They don't know anybody from any other country to come and do this one and identify, and people will keep on dying.
It's this has been happening for the past days, and the state government is not doing anything about it. Children are dying, women are dying, people are losing their lives. Look at what happened in the past few days. What can you say about it?
Okay.
There's no security, there's no protection, and it's supposed to be from the state government before the federal government can take over.
Okay, I would like to say something from my own side. I believe is the fault of the both the states and the federal government to enforce a law. Assuming there is a law and there is a regulation for everyone to follow, I believe all of these things should not be happening. Now, looking at everyone, both the state and federal governments, they are just sitting there looking at, I'm sure that they're just sitting there and they are not giving any regulation. Assuming from the right start, there is a regulation or there is a rule that is guiding Benue State, these things won't be happening. Assuming there is a law that is being enforced, so there won't be anything like this. That is that from my own side. And okay, another thing is, are you, when you we are saying something, are you saying that um the Fulani herders, is it that their cow immediately their cow are being lost, or probably there's a miscalculation in the cows, or probably a cow is missing or a cow is dead, that is when they are going to kill, or they are, when they are also rearing their cows and at the same time they are killing the people of being mistakes. What do you see on that?
To the killing, to the last one that just happened is unclear. Why others and why is it unclear? Because it's unidentified. We did not identify the people that do the evil intent, and this is an issue. That's why this matter go beyond even the land dispute that we have in the land. It go beyond even the climate that we are talking about. So it goes to the place of us as a Nigerian. I can see that the Mr. President was there, and he was trying to settle down things that even there should be an organization of non-indigenous of the place to take charge, and the security personnel no report. Yeah, and there are a lot of things. He was just taking it to make a mayor so that everything will be in balance.
Here this thing. See, the thing is this thing is very simple. It's a simple concept. I have my land. Don't bring your cow to my land. It's as simple as that. But these people will decide, okay, now even you've seen this is happening around this place, you know that it's a farmland. Those people are stubborn. I'm not going to lie. I'm sorry to say. That tribe, they are very, very stubborn because I've several encounters with them. Don't bring your cows to this place. It's a simple thing. But that's when they know that, oh, my cow has not eaten this type of vegetables before. Let it taste it. It's wrong. So now there's no justification for killing. You cannot tell me that, okay, they should kill because one, are you going to compare the life of a cow to that of, like, of an human being? No.
In your time matter, we need security, and if we don't enforce it in every way that we can use it, it will still run back to the same.
No, enforcing is not a problem. But the problem is, yes, enforcing, yeah, again,
And orientation is also there. We should have we should put these people are people. We should orientate them. They make it.
bro, there's if you don't see people for no, those guys are in the breed, so it's just necessary to say they are English. So wait, okay, are you saying now that government should now like post like you make it like
Take it. This is a way you can go about it. Everything have a protocol. They have elders. If you look at them around there, when you want to meet them, you don't just go and meet them personally or calling them. Yes, they have elder, they have people that do them. Then you meet those people will hear your message.
do you know, okay, do you know that even those elders, like now, the association, they were saying that they don't know about the killing.
That person it was unidentified.
It there's no it should be unidentified. Do you want to tell me that, okay, but and the thing is, if it's a bandits, they will say, okay, bandits attack this place. If it was terrorists, they will say that terrorists attack this place. But the news clearly stated it: farmer slash herder crisis, conflict. Those, you saw the pictures now. Those people killed a lot of. They bought houses. They bought even the farmland, the crops. They bought it. Why? Because they are angry that the Benue people are rioting against them, moving their cows into their land. And they have the right. Everyone has the right to own possession. Now you can't come to my house now and tell me that you want to be putting your pig there. Why? It's my property. You can't do that. That's the same. It's the same application to those Benue people too. So there's no justification that, okay, even if the government did not give them a land. Moreover, I don't think their issue is land. The issue they're having is not land. Those people want to move their cattle all around because they need them to, I don't know how to say this thing. They want to move their cattle because that's their own way of rearing animals.
Yes, thank you. Okay, now from my own side, I believe is the combination of climate change, ethnicity, religious and weak governance. Those are the four point that is really affecting the root cause of the killing happening in Benue. So moving on to the next question. Precious, what do you think is the governance failure? Is it the governance failure for the things happening there? Is it the governance failure?
Yes, it's the governor's failure because look at the past few years. It has been in history that Benue State has been having problem with the headmen's with our farms and everything. So if there is no protection, if there's no security, everything leads back to the governor, to the old system of everything that's going on in Benue State. Now we're talking about the federal and state government. The state government is they are supposed to like in a community that's supposed to be like a legal security around those communities, but they have not been doing it. Even when there is a military personnel around during those crises, were they there to help those people? No.
Okay, let me give you a take on what you just said about the government trying to uh balance it or giving a solution to the issue like this. Yes, we elect them there for just if anything like this will happen for our own right, so that we may live. We have right to live, right to speak, right to do, I guess. So they are there to make sure all these things are in place for us. And now our safety is also part of those their job. We have to be safe as a citizen of this country. And if this thing goes on, we can see that both from this federal, state, and the local government have to work in hand in hand for something of such to happen. Miracle will not just happen one day. You have to take a process. And if this thing has been coming occurrence till today and nothing has been done to it, unidentified killing, all these things low. Okay.
So, what measure do you think the government should take? Should they arrest those herders, or should the federal government now, let's say, should the federal government now put a ban on grazing of land?
This thing have called for state of emergency. And if anything like this we call for state of emergency, the federal government will have to take act. Why the state have tried.
Do you know what state of emergency?
Yes,
State of emergency. If they declare state of emergency in Benue, military removing fully.
yes.
It will, that thing will lead to internal. It will lead to, that's what leads to civil wars. Because now military you come in, majority of the one those military is not just one tribe. And aside the military will come in and up, it will disrupt the democracy in that state.
The reason why I say that is because when an issue like this occur, what they are just trying to make is that so that the federal government will declare state of emergency in that state. And this is what we are trying to not to do. If you look at the matter very well, the matter go beyond even there is politics in this matter. If you look deeply, there is politics in this matter. And there are politicians that are able, they are just keeping quiet there. There are a lot of politicians in that state. There are some things that we look into in our own country, in our own land here, where you have an issue with electricity also. Someone can just come up and solve the issue and anybody have like that. There are people like that also in Benin. There are people of figure like that that are supposed to take some actions, necessary actions also. In this thing, they are the one living here. And if they cannot operate well as a state, the federal will take what control to make sure there is a balance.
So
So there are a lot of mayor.
they cannot, by declaring state of emergency, that's the way that you think they will be balanced. I doubt that will work. Because in the sense that now, okay, what leads to state of emergency? Now you can take Rivers for example. Now, Rivers was declared state of emergency because like the House of Rep was having issue with the governor and all, there were conflicts. So all those ones now is right to declare state of emergency. When mainly whereby there's no internal conflict aside farmer and elder situation. Now, governments can provide assistance, agreed.
Yeah.
That's why federal governments can provide assistance. But if federal government now declared the whole Benue as a state, Benue is not an urban area. In case you don't know, it's a rural area. And now, if they declare the whole place as state of emergency, do you know that even I'm not in support of killing, but there are some Fulanis that they are actually innocent, that they don't even know anything about it because everybody, every tribe has good and bad. There are some tribes that they are, and there are some set of people that they are innocent. They don't have anything to do with it. But because of like in state of emergency as you declared, they see you might be a suspect to them and they'll just carry you. There will be no way for you to prove yourself.
The reason why I mentioned state of emergency is because the matter on this matter arise to be it something that can we can call on that ball. By president going there, Mr. President going there, we can't call a state of emergency. But they are like that is the law every time. How in our population, if our population keep reducing every day, is that a good tenor? No. It will be recorded in his tenor that okay, when this governor evolve this governor. I know we saying as that place, I tell you, but it is time that we have to give full stop to it. Okay, you have to mention solutions.
Okay, now, with all of these things we have been saying, now I believe like since the governments are not doing anything, my question is, should the communities harm themselves since the government are not doing anything? Okay, now we believe that social harming ourselves is very good for maybe there's any threat or anything. So for self defense is very necessary. But now seeing that the government, both the state and the federal government are not doing anything currently. So do you think the communities should harm themselves?
I think we are wrong when we say that they are not doing anything correctly. To the state of the things that we are seeing on the news, we can see that there are some actions being put on. Yeah, they are arrested about 85, and there are things that are going on now to make sure the calmness in the war area and the stopping of the killing. But there are other factors apart from the within. When we have the problem with
The question is, should the communities arm themselves?
okay, let me go directly to that. If the community arm themselves, this thing will continue in more conflicts. If you elaborate, you will open the eyes of the community that if they do anything, you do it back. And these people also will not stop. So it's like using fire to Kaisen them. So we can't just go in that direction.
But
We can't. We can't. We can't.
do you know if okay, I get your point, but it's true that it should lead to more conflict.
Yeah,
They arm themselves.
even more killing.
But then if something happened to you once, you might take it as a coincidence. Or maybe you've been unlucky. But it happened to you twice. That's not it's becoming a pattern. So now, if we say that those people should not arm themselves to protect themselves, you know that it's to them, to their oppressors, it makes them look weak that they can come again. But if these people have their own means of self-defense, whereby they can protect themselves in case of any kind of situation, at least now, in the recent attack, the youth stood up to fight against those people. The youth stood up. And also, the community stood up to fight. In some communities, not all communities were lucky, but in some communities that were attacked, those youth stood up and fight against them. So let's peradventure they have their own weapon also. Do you know that those people won't dare to attack them next time because they'll be like, we attacked this people the first time, they killed about 6 of us. We then who will be willing to risk
Let
that?
me address this. Before we can take a decision, even as a government to take a decision in the parliament. There are some things that we have to come together in agreement to. In this country, we don't legalize weapon. One. And if we allow this to happen in Benue State, other states they also
No, legalizing of weapon is different from rights to self-defense.
okay, they are not like find your way to defend yourself. Find your we want to defend yourself by find there are a lot of things that we can use to defend yourself.
Say, define your weapon. Are you saying gun or machete?
Oh yeah, I did anything can be used as a very bit. People are someone between with you. Those people are doing what to know design yourself.
Rest. Those people burnt houses. They use fire as the base of weapon.
Someone is coming with you with a gun. Or do you want to use to defend yourself? Just you want to
Easy. It's still no. Imagine it because you can there's a way you can faster than gun. So now you are saying okay, now not all of them uses gun. Some of them uses matrix. So, but now the thing is, the idea is just teach these people how to defend themselves. But the moment we are bringing arms into it, there will be war.
Okay, now my point is, I believe aside the communities arming themselves, I believe it's actually the government to take security of everything that is happening in any state. Now, I think something happened in my area where I stay. That's I think there's been a lot of theft issues around. I mean, during the night. So what they did was they sent out for vigilantes so that they can guide you. I think if they enforce that kind of thing in the community, that can even curb all of these things
That's the
as the state and as the state governments work. So I believe it's actually the real government's and it's the government's responsibility to take security. And if they stop and if they do not do anything on it, we'll keep hearing this situation on and on, and it won't stop because it's not even limited to Benue State alone. They are coming close to other states. They are coming close to other states. So if there is not any enforcement of law from the state government or federal government, all of these things will continue to happen, and people's life will even be lost. Aside lives of people, they are they are even cutting short the source of income of people because this farming, that is what some people use as source of income to even feed their family. Let's say that. And to even get money for themselves. So if government cannot do anything, then I believe all of these things will not stop. As we wrap up today's episode, one thing is clear. The situation in Benue State is not just a headline, it is a human tragedy. Whether the fault lies with the state government, federal government, or both, what matters most is accountability and action. But now, we want to hear from you, our listeners. Who do you think has the greater responsibility, and what solution could bring peace and protection to the communities? Send us your comments, thoughts, and reaction on all our social media platforms at _podcast. And don't forget to share this conversation with someone who needs to be part of this. See you next Sunday.